We've got a special guest.
We do. Hello and welcome to our show. It's fantastic. I'm very excited to hear about your programs because I can see they work. Like, really work. So tell us a little bit about Nick Knows food programs. How did you get started with this, Nick?
Pretty much exactly how you spoke to me just then. A lot of people tend to come to me and ask for a little bit of guidance or tips on what I do, or how I eat, and how I set up my daily structures and routines, and it goes from there. So I created Nick Knows from that passion that I found helping people and getting great results and feedback. And then I created the business structure around that.
Well, that really is the best advertisement, isn't it? Is word of mouth.
Yeah.
Because it's the truest, it's the most authentic. So if you're getting word of mouth, it's working.
And you must be doing something right.
It's not just you, it's also what you're doing.
Well, that's it. That's exactly how it manifested.
That's great.
Nick, you're in great shape.
Thank you.
Did you find that, was this been a lifelong destiny for you, or did you find yourself in a position at school where you were getting out of shape, or observing many of your friends around you that perhaps weren't in the best shape? I mean, how did it all start for you, though?
When I look back, it's actually funny you asked that. When I look back, I feel like it kind of is something that's been instilled in with me. I find a true passion for it. I love the food side of it. I love eating healthy and being mindful of what I'm eating and whatnot. And I think that's stuck with me over the years. And that's why I feel like it is, like you said, a kind of destiny. I'm very comfortable talking about it and helping people with that side of their lifestyle, I suppose. It's amazing how many people want to live a healthier lifestyle but just don't know where to start. Yes. So that's what I love, teaching people and educating them on and whatnot. Yeah, that's right. It's prioritising it. So you've got to set it up. You've got to prioritise. A lot of us are busy people here, and it's about prioritising it and setting up as part of your daily routine and your structure, and then working everything else around that.
Because some people exercise and some people diet. Yeah. But it really is a combination of the two,
hand in hand.
isn't it?
I think there's an old saying, you can't outrun what's on your fork. So
that's a good. I love that. That's amazing.
You can exercise as much as you want, but if your habits, if your daily lifestyle and daily routines aren't following mindful eating, and if you aren't creating structure around the food you're eating, the gym results aren't going to come. Exactly. Or they might come very slowly, but that can also put people off because they're not getting the results they want, and then they think, well, it's too much effort, I'm not going to bother. Yeah, so if you change your eating habits and your lifestyle and you create a good foundation around that, your gym results will come a lot faster, or whatever exercise you do, walking, whatever type of activities you do, those results will excel because of your food. So I think building a foundation around your food, your lifestyle, you're eating a healthy lifestyle, being mindful of what you're eating, will benefit your training and exercise. So
with looking at a lot of other diets, and there's a lot of fad diets, how does your program stick to a regime, and we don't break away from it because we know this is going to work, and I'm going to continue to keep doing it the way it's written out. I'm not going to get off course and go back to how I used to be.
Well, firstly, I don't like using the word diet. It kind of implies like a short-term goal or a short-term commitment to something for a holiday or a wedding, excuse me. What I like to try and teach my clients is how to maintain their weight loss, so get them to a certain stage, help them achieve their weight loss goal or their healthy lifestyle goal, whatever it may be, and then give them enough knowledge to sustain that throughout the years, and then pass it on to people around them and their colleagues and their children and whatnot. So it's not just a short-term commitment, it's about continually living a healthier lifestyle. And
what about protein powders? We have honestly, there's so many of them out there, and you go to look at the ingredients on the side, and as somebody explained to me, I'll look at the sugars and look at those high carbs. Don't take those powders because you're going to be back to where you started from. Look for the high protein. But it's high protein, it can be a little bit bland, can't it?
Well, it depends on what you're looking for. That's another reason I started Nick Knows was a lot of people are overwhelmed with so much variety out there, and I think there's so much clever marketing these days.
There's a lot of misinformation.
Yeah, that's right. We're very misled as consumers by bigger corporations and branding and marketing and whatnot. So I like to guide people down the right path and cut out the unnecessaries and teach them how to properly structure their food and supplementation and whatnot.
Do you look at an individual and sort of structure their routine or their diet around what you would see as maybe their metabolic rate or their lifestyle. So
it has to be that way. So all the programs I create are tailored to an individual. So it's tailored around their lifestyle, their daily routines, what time they work, what time they train, everything like that. It's got to be tailored to their lifestyle, otherwise they won't continue with it. If you break their routine and make them do things that they wouldn't normally do, when they reach their goal or finish the program, they're not going to continue it because it's hard. It's out of their routine. So it's got to be part of their day, part of their routine, and flow well. Otherwise, it's not going to be a sustainable program.
Could you give us just a couple of tips of what would be foods that might be general mistakes that people make, thinking they might be eating something healthy or that it's not necessarily fattening, that you might know is a no-no?
I think the biggest thing is sugars, high sugars in or hidden sugars in a lot of products, which make you want more of them because of the chemical reactions in the brain. Low-fat foods tend to be higher in sugar than the full-fat. So they try and make it taste nicer by putting more sugar in them. So if you just read the labels and pick up the labels and have a look at what you're eating, be mindful of what you're eating, I think that's the most important thing. So we're led to believe that a product is healthier because it's labelled low-fat, but our bodies actually use the fat better than it does the sugar, if it's good fat. So I think that's probably the biggest misconception in the market.
And how much water should we be drinking, Nick?
As much as you feel you need. When you feel thirsty, drink water. I like to always have water on me, and just consciously have some water every half an hour, and take some big gulps. So if I miss the next hour, I've got it in me ready to go.
And when you get to like past 50 and past 60, you can reverse the ageing process, can't you? Even though what looks like damage has been done and we're carrying all that belly fat, it's serious. I think a lot of people. Why are you sort of looking at me saying, "Oh, you're a prisoner of your conscience, Murphy"? But the thing is, after the age of 50 and 60, we can turn it back, can't we?
Well, I think people like to use that as an excuse, as a way out. Oh, I'm too old now, I've passed my... It's not the case. When you start living a healthier lifestyle and eating with purpose, everything will change. Your internal bodily functions change and will benefit from it, and the results will come themselves.
Well, I'd just also like to point out, beautiful Josephine here has a very good routine. You get up very early every morning and you do your...
Yeah, we were talking about that before.
Yeah.
It's fantastic and it shows.
Very committed. And I know, like, being 27, that she's doing really, really well.
21.
I'm going to get you a shirt and you can represent Nick Knows.
Listen, they had this woman on, I don't know if you saw it on Facebook, this 80-year-old that's been working out at the gym and changed her diet, and she is so fit.
Yeah, there's no excuse. I love hearing people's excuses or what they think is an excuse and then proving them wrong.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the most enjoyable things, is proving to them that they can change their life and change the way they feel and look about themselves.
The hard thing for me, though, is it's that first day or the first week of a change of eating habits. You know, like, how do you get through that first day?
There's cravings.
I'm very hands-on with my clients, so I like to communicate with them very regularly. So in that instance, the first week, maybe the first 2 weeks, is a very hard process. It's hard to get rid of old habits. Like, some of these habits could have stemmed from childhood, just not knowing how to eat because your parents passed on bad habits, or your cultural reasonings or whatever don't allow for other types of food. So you're not really aware of what you can or should be eating.
You had to eat everything on your plate.
You should.
You had to eat everything
that's
on your
right.
plate when you were a kid.
No matter what it was.
Food was hard to come by.
Because it wasn't the kind of information we have available these days. So I think I love to help my clients get past that first, second week. Once they see results and feel more energetic and they feel more lively, they want to continue with them themselves. It's like a self-motivation thing. That comes naturally. And as I was saying, when you work on your food first, that will then motivate you to want to do exercise, because you start getting those results, you start feeling more energetic and lively, and you want to go out and go for a walk or walk around in the park and enjoy the sunshine. It's a whole other aspect that it brings to your life.
And Nick, here we are, we're on the doorstep of Christmas and we're going to give it a belting, aren't we?
But you don't know, Steve, that when we were talking in the green room before, I signed us both up.
Ready to go.
Yeah.
Well, that could be a Christmas present.
And Marg upstairs, the EP, has said she's in as well. So Happy Christmas. That's my gift to you.
Look, I reckon you look fantastic, and you look amazing.
Thank you
as well.
I just want to touch on what you're saying.
Look like that by February.
About Christmas, I think if you plan your week, so you know Christmas is coming up, if you plan your week and eat consciously for that week, as healthy as you can still enjoy those special occasions and those social events. I think the biggest thing is balance. You need to have a balanced lifestyle, and that's what I try and teach my clients through Nick Knows food programs is creating a balanced lifestyle so that you can maintain these social events and gatherings.
Yeah, and you're so right about the sugar. Probably about 6 months ago, I dramatically cut down, and I saw the weight
Big
just
changes,
falling off.
Sugar's
but even bread turns into sugar,
some
doesn't it?
some types of breads, but a lot of the breads, like maybe marketed as wholemeal. This is another one to go back to your question before. If you read the ingredients, it may only be like 10% wholemeal, and the rest is just normal white flour and whatnot. So
which goes straight into
that's right.
Starch
and that's how
sugar.
we're misled, and they colour it with brown dye and whatnot, so it makes it look healthy when it's really not. You know.
And just one last question: what about different cultures? So say there's a Greek family and their food's very traditional, and it might be very fatty. So how do you get around a client that comes to you and says, but this is our Lebanese food, this is what we cook?
It's trying to work that into the program as much as possible and then slowly phasing it out. It's creating new habits, and that doesn't come easily. So it's not taking everything away from them straight away.
Yeah.
It's allowing them to kind of naturally not want to eat that way because they feel good and they don't want to ruin that. So even though all my programs have a freedom period where they can eat whatever they want, blah, 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 after a few weeks, they use that freedom period in a mindful manner, so they will actually eat healthy themselves or repeat days from the week because they don't want to ruin their efforts. So that's a natural process. It just like any habit, it phases out naturally, and you create new habits. That's what it's about. It just
becomes a new lifestyle for them.
Definitely.
It's been awesome having you on tonight.
Thank you very much.
And I actually do really look forward to committing to this. We
excited.
Discussed it before.
Yes.
So guys, if you'd like to find out more about Nick and Nick Knows food programs, please go to www.allaboutyouz.com, and then I want you to go to guest and click on guest so that you can find out all of his information so that you can get looking like that.
That hot body, man.
Thanks so much for joining us tonight. It was fantastic.